Alright, recording now. Gonna Alright, tweeted it. And I'm gonna post it in the Slack. I'm sorry, what'd you say about the stream?
I can't hear you, so it sounds like
Alright, cool. So I'm going to be working on Boutique again today. Going to try to roll up a couple tasks. We'll see how far I get. One thing is just ebook downloading and embedding in the application, linking those digital assets with products. I'd like to get shopping cart and checkout working, and get kind of a round trip setup for ebook purchases working. So I've got Boutique running in a REPL here. I did my usual fire up the REPL with make GUCI. I load app devel main, which has that update helper that comes with the scaffold to run it from the REPL. Pretty handy. I think it's intended that devel use it, but you can just use it from the REPL, which I prefer anyway. And then you run update, and it runs the application. You can go to it localhost 3000. So our next task here is to, let me take a look at source routes. So we got cart, checkout, thanks. Okay, let's take a look at the model. And we've got user, password reset, address, product cart, cart products, order, product order. So we're going to create a digital product. SQL equals digital products, and we're going to have a title for this. We're also going to have a file name, and I mean there's a file name type synonym, but it's just string, and there's no real point, so I'm just going to use text. And I'm going to derive show on this, and let me see here. I need some kind of MIME type or file type descriptor. So I'm riffing off of this Yesod tutorial here that has an example of loading up a file and sending it a download response, and you'll see the it has content disposition, attachment, file name. I would like to categorize digital assets by file type, or by what it's meant to be, because so right now with the book, what we have is a build that generates two different PDFs. One of them is it's intended for kind of screen size, or like an iPad, that kind of thing. So the idea with the screen size is you would just have a REPL on your monitor, kind of like I've got here, and then maybe an editor, and then on the other side of your monitor you have the book, and that's really actually the intended way to work through it. But there's a second format, the e-reader. Now the problem is that's not really a difference of file type, they're both PDF. It's a difference of format, and I'm not certain how to handle this. So I think I'll let the file name handle the content disposition, and then I'll just make a format field on digital product, and then digital product is going to have a product ID, and format's just going to be like a, screen, e-reader, whatever. I don't know. Let's not even bother with that until I know really what I'm going to use it for. Okay, so now what I can do is load app and migration and run migrations. Oops. Oh, oh, I need to set up the password for my user here. What do I have in migration here? It's just run dev db, run migrations. So let's take a look at run dev db. And that's in model.adjust. Oh yeah, okay. So let me set this password real quick. And
So what you're trying to do right now is update your schema to represent that digital product, right?
yeah, so Alexi asked what I'm trying to do is update the schema for the digital product model added, and that's right. I created the model right there, but it's not in the database right now, so I can't really use the database. Actually, I can't really use the database anyway because I don't have the password set correctly for run dev db. But that's okay. So but yeah, I need to run the migration so that it creates the table for me. I could do it manually, but there's not really a lot of point. Alright. So let's, whoops. Boutique, okay, create TV, boutique, dev. Sudo u Postgres. There we go. Okay, it actually had to migrate everything because I hadn't run the migrations on this machine yet. And it ran everything, so that's good. I'm gonna bebop back over to develop main and update and reopen this, and that looks okay. So now that I've done that, I can do things like load up model.hs. I've got select list. I can do select list digital product title equals blah run dev db. And I don't get any results because I haven't inserted anything yet. So the next, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
There's a message in the chat saying, "Hey, caught you on mine. Really enjoyed the stream. Keep up the good work."
Yeah, thank you. Hello, Malachi. Okay, so now we get to my next problem. Even if I've migrated the database, all the tables are empty, right? So there's this really nice pattern that I picked up from the front row education devs. That's these guys. I worked for them for about a month to get them started moving over to Haskell, and they've since gone way beyond what I made. I don't think there's barely any of my code left in there, but they use Haskell, and they have a really nice way of doing fixtures that I like. And I'm going to set up something like that. Give me just one moment here to find how I did this. Alright. see here. So fixtures, if you aren't familiar with the term, it's essentially just kind of example data that you install in order to be able to play with and test the application. Conventionally, you'll see fixtures used in tests, but I find they're actually really helpful for dev as well. They don't have to just be a test thing. They can just be a nice way to stand up some example data real quick. In my experience, anyway. Different people might feel differently. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so whoops, fixtures. All right, so I'm gonna make model fixtures. Yeah, model dot fixtures where, and what do the main imports for this look like? So I need to import model and let me see here. Probably want these as well. Source model fixtures. Okay. And that loaded up fine. Run devdb, yep. Okay. Yeah, sorry, the code's not public. I don't know if I'm going to open source it right now or not. I do actually want to start working on something that isn't a library, which Haskellers could hack on. That is on my radar because I think it's actually kind of important for people to have introductory projects to work on. And but something that runs a small business like Lorpa, I don't think that's it. I'm going to be kind of persnickety about stuff in that kind of context, especially when money's involved. What does an account consist of? A user, password, an address maybe? Yeah, definitely an address, even though it won't matter for now. But that's about it. So text for the email, db entity user, entity password, entity address. I need a password. Password, user email, user password. What else do I need? I'm gonna need quite a bit. Do I have a create user? Yeah, I do. I already have a create user function, so we can reuse that. And and that returns either user creation error or entity user being created user, and I don't need to do update user password. And then I should probably create a helper for creating an address associated with a user. Update user address, ID user. And we'll just take an address value, return db entity address. And then an address contains the user itself, address. Okay, we're gonna make a slight change here. So address's first argument here was the user. That was a mistake. User should go at the end here so that I can partially apply all this stuff and then feed the user to the address. So, alright, go back here, reload. Alright, so this is going to be key user to address. Let address record wildcard address k user key and then what does update look like? So we're gonna do key record update record. Alright, so now what we need to do is see if a pre-existing address exists. So select first address user equals user key, maybe existing address, case maybe existing address, and if it's nothing, we just create a new address. If it's just address, then we're going to update an existing address. Yeah, currently I don't, yeah, Lexi asked if it's possible to have a user without an address. Yeah, because in create user, I don't create an address for it or anything, and the way the model is defined, user isn't dependent on an address, whereas an address cannot be created without an associated user. So, that's just the way it works at the moment. Excuse me. And I think that makes sense because there's no real reason to require people to input their address if they're not going to order a physical product. I don't actually want people's addresses unless it's required to send them something, you know? So I just don't really care. But yeah, I do have to handle the case of, this is like an ugly upsert, basically. Upsert, you know, being spelled like that. So I'm actually going to increase my font size a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. Whoa. Alright, that might be a little bit much. That's better. Okay. So upsert being spelled like that. So I've actually written an upsert before, but I don't really want to go spelunking looking for it right now. But it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. I just don't know where it is. Let me see here. Okay, so if it's nothing, then we're just gonna insert, and if let's actually check. Let's see here. Persistent. Does it have an upsert? It does. Whoops. Record, update record. Based on uniqueness constraint or insert. How does it know which, it throws an exception if there's more than one uniqueness constraint. Yeah, so this will actually work fine. And then you could do an update, or sorry, upsert by if you want. So, never mind. I don't need to do this. Okay, upsert, address, record, update record, update the existing record. So I need both a record and its updates. It's kind of annoying, actually. You'd think they could just take one to create the other. Address updates, and that's just okay. Does it return? Yeah, it returns the record. So all I really need to do now is create the address updates. So we're gonna do this again. Alright, and then you create an update by using that operator from persistent equals dot, and it's just entity field vtype type update. So it's just gonna look like address address 1 equals address 1 2. This seems like something I could just generate with generics, but I'm not going to do that. Whoops. Address postcode, address postcode, address province, address province. I use the words postcode and province here because they're more international, universal than zip code and state. Because to a lot of people, state is nation state, not, you know, the little sub-regions we have in the United States. Postcode, same deal. For most people, it's postcode, not zip code. Alexia asked if there's some kind of standard for international standard for addresses. I don't know. I know that in some countries it gets really different though, because the way addresses work in Japan, for example, are based more on blocks than streets and intersections. So like you'll live in a block number and then a house number of that block. There will be streets around you, and those streets might have names, but it's not the way they they frame it. It could be untrue though. Like what I'm saying could just be like a crazy blog post somebody wrote, but I remember reading about it, and I'm sure there's some way to kind of roll up most countries with a single address input field. I'm pretty certain Google's probably figured that out, because Google, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but Google has a lot of open source libraries that just have to do with internationalizing a web application. Their phone number parsing library is a good example of that. It's one big, really complicated library that handles all the different formats phone numbers can take in different countries. So, also update user address seems to be done, so I'm gonna give that a shot. I just need to remember not to add a second constraint, so and there's actually a way to make this safe if we are worried for maintenance purposes about the thing. Let me see here. If I do upsert by address user, is that gonna work? Match type unique address entity field address key user. Fair enough. Alright. Unique keys besides the key. Info address. Here. Info address. Unique address equals unique user address. That's probably it, right? So unique user address, and it looks like that takes a user key argument. So we just pass the user key to that, make it upsert by, reload, and bada bing. Now it won't throw an exception if we ever add another constraint. So this is one of the reasons I really like persistent. It reifies the components of the model definition into normal Haskell values that are well typed. I can see, you know, from this what the different things that, you know, can uniquely identify an address are, and it's really nice. I can't accidentally pass, you know, a different kind of key in there. It has to be a key for a user. Okay. Although I can construct a, you know, I could do to SQL key, and then I could just pass that a raw value, and then assert that it's, you know, key user or something. Nothing preventing you doing that. There has to be a way to do it. Otherwise, you can't parse primary keys out of text like in a web app. So, but in general, it's a lot safer. All right, so now we have update user address. So we're going to go back to fixtures, and I'm going to get select first password user equals, I need to handle this either. Let me see here. I could for created user. I don't think that's really what I want. Oh yeah, so we got a question from the chat. Nobi asked if a key can be a string or UID. Yeah, it can. You might need to do a little bit of setup for it. So I've used UIDs before, and anytime I didn't want something to be publicly enumerable from the API, I used UID v4s for that. However, UIDs make for slightly bloated indices, so they make your joins a little bit slower. So typically when I use UIDs, I don't make them the primary key. I still use normal auto-incrementing primary keys for all of the internal references. in the database. What I do is I just add an extra UUID key field to the end of every model, and then I add a unique constraint to that just makes it unique per table. From there, you need a persist. You need a persist field, I think. Type. Sorry, instance. So you see how like Int32 and 64 has a persist field. Persist field just tells it how to store it in the database and then parse it back out of the database. It's just to persist value and from persist value. If you have that instance, and you should be able to just use it as a unique value. There might be a little bit more work involved in making it a key, but I wouldn't know offhand. I haven't made them into keys before for the reason I outlined. Alright, but you can override most things in persistent one way or the other. Okay, so password user. What I'm trying to do right now is I've got an either here. I'm trying to decide what the nicest way to do this is. So the obvious way to do it is to just left e throw m e of helps if I do the of, and then user return user, and then I can just bind that out and say entity user key user at, and then that's user key, and then we have maybe password, and password should definitely exist. So if we get a nothing here, we are going to throw an error. Fixture install exception, and no password found for created user, and then I return the key of the user it failed for, so I know what to look at, so I know which user is missing. It's password, and then I derive show and typable instance exception fixture install exception. It might require EQ, but I'll find out here in a minute. Dun, 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 dun. That's just derelict code needing to be done. And throw m applied to too few arguments. Yeah, fair enough. And then this is going to take the user key and could not deduce exception user creation error. Deduce exception user creation error from line 21, so that's this one. Sorry, the dog's... There's people installing Google Fiber, and that means there's people walking around the house, and it makes Papu very upset, and he's just gonna have to get over it. User creation error. Okay, so I need to add typable exception user creation error reload. That's better. Alright. So I didn't need EQ for that. That's interesting. So Lexi asks what it means when I type instance exception and then some type constructor without actually defining things. You're not actually meant to write exception instances yourself. I think it used to be a safety problem because you could make the instances do bad things. What you're doing is you're generically deriving the exception instance automatically. It's not empty or anything, it's just automatic. The exception type class just contains these three methods: toException, fromException, and then displayException. So the reason it needs these is because it's using Typable under the hood to essentially do a dynamic type tag check at runtime, because the actual type of the exception is hidden under the SomeException type. SomeException is basically how we have something kind of like subtyping for our exception types in Haskell. And the way we get that is we don't actually try to unify all the exception types under an explicit type argument. Because if you write this type normally, so if I do my SomeException, right, and I just write this in kind of the more obvious way, like that, the problem is that you can't throw two different types of exceptions. You would have to unify them all under a sum type manually, otherwise the types wouldn't be equal to each other, right? So since that's kind of impossible if you are handling exceptions from different libraries and stuff, because how would they unify? Like, you'd have to manually unify all the exception types from all of your libraries, and that's pretty brutal and kind of misses the point of exceptions versus just using either, right? So the problem is that E has to, unify somehow. That's what's creating the problem. So one type of exception is ioException. So E could equal ioException in one part, and then I could also have, E could be the user creation error, and then E could be fixture install exception, and I basically can't handle any exception. I have to pick only one. The problem is if I pick one, if I handle one exception, I'm only handling this exception. These other exceptions won't get handled. But if I want to handle all of them, say for the purposes of logging, which is usually why I do that, I don't really handle exceptions. I just catch them so I can log something, and then I rethrow them, right? So if I want to be able to catch all of them, I need to somehow deal with the fact that E isn't, ioException doesn't equal user creation, right? So to that end, what we want, essentially, is to just do that. Delete the type argument off of my SomeException's type constructor. The way we do that is we essentially add this bit of syntax, which moves the quantifier out from behind the type constructor here and moves it under the data constructors. And it makes it existential as opposed to a universally quantified type argument. I don't have time to explain that right now, but basically you lose that type information. You get the benefit of being able to have an E of different types for each application of that data constructor, but that means you lose the type information. It's kind of like a form of information hiding, right? So the problem is, how do I then match on something? If I lose the type information, how do I then match on it if I don't know what type it is? Well, you don't get to know the normal way. So that's where Typable comes in. And Typable lets you, it creates these little like type tags, they're called type rep for your types, and it essentially uses that type rep at runtime to check and see if it's the type of exception that you're trying to catch. And then the role that SomeException plays is when you throw an exception from here, it's automatically, you see the toException where it does E to SomeException? It just automatically packs every exception in SomeException. So if you catch the SomeException type, it's just always going to match. If you try to catch something other than SomeException, it unpacks SomeException, and then it uses the fromException method to do that. And then it's maybe because you're using the typable check to check if E is equal to whatever type you're looking for. And then if it is equal to that, then you have your type information back and you can look at the contents of the exception. We got another question. Malachi asked, what happens to the exception when you just rethrow it? So that's a great question. The answer is yes, like you suggested. Yesod handles the exception, but the way it handles it is it doesn't like fix it. It just makes it so that your HTTP response is an HTTP 500. And if you're in dev mode, it'll show you the exception trace. If you're not in dev mode, it'll just say HTTP 500 and it won't show anything from the stack trace or whatever error information you might have. Okay, so getting back to it. In this case, these fixtures aren't necessarily always going to get run in Yesod though, and in fact they never will. These just get run in dev. So it's just going to turn into an exception that the REPL prints in this particular case. So we've got just password, and if that happens, we can keep going. Let me see here. Now what we can do is take an address. So I'm just going to create an example address and patch over it if I need to. So update user address, user, and example address, key user to address, key user to address, and user key equals address, and then we just have these variables to satisfy. So info address. Can I reuse the things from here? Answer, not really. I mean, I could chop them up. Yeah, just chop them up. Alright, so dun, 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 dun. Poppy is no longer grumpy. He is now napping. He's curled up to my right. He's lucky he's cute. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, Sesame Street. Address 2, just empty string. It's fine. I have no idea where Sesame Street is located, so I'm gonna guess Detroit, based on how depressing it was in the 70s and 80s. Postcode, what's a zip code in Detroit? I actually used to live in the Detroit metro area. Hamtramck? No, it's not gonna be there. It's gonna be, let's say right about there. 48204. 48204. Province is MI. Country is United States. PO Box false. User key. Alright. And address K, let address equals address K, user key, address, and that's everything I need for that. New address. Specify its value, and that's now done. So now we just return user, password, address, reload. Oh, made it mad. Constructor address does not have the required field address commercial. Oh, dang. That's true. Alright. So, address commercial is false. Is that the case here? I forgot it here too, yeah. Address commercial, address commercial. All hail strict fields. Alright, type error, keys are the address. Oh, I see. I'm not supposed to partially apply it ahead of time. Whoops. I'm supposed to just pass it address K. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we have make account and let me see here. That's been done. Quiet, Papu. Shush, dog. Alright, Chris, user, Chris, password, text, it's email. And my email will be chris@google.com. Shush dog. Alright, that's cheesy, but I don't really care. Make accounts. Do I really need to do that? Let me think about it. So the other thing that makes the way Front Row does their exceptions kind of special is they actually store all of their fixtures in a data type so that you can look them up during tests and things. So we have okay. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. Nope. That's for EQ address. Fair enough. Model. Yeah, I'm not deriving EQ instances for any of these. I'll leave it out for now, but I may end up wanting EQ and ORD instances for a map or something. I don't care for now. Make count, applied to few arguments. I need to create an address first. And that worked. Alright. And then all of our fixtures together are also data type. You'll note that the password type is separate from the user type. Address fixtures. And then we just create a type to insert the fixtures. And then let's make certain I got that right. All users F, all passwords F, all addresses F. There we go. And just to make this a little bit safer, I'm going to actually slap bangs on this so that I can't accidentally forget any fields. Reload. Done. Alright. So as I go, I can just add more fixtures to create more example data. Let me see here. If I run dev db, insert fixtures, that's my fixtures right there. And if I rerun that, and what did I do? Chris.com. There we go. Logged in. Alright, so now that that's done, and I have the ability to insert fixtures. Also, the counterpart to fixtures is trunk. You want to be able to truncate all the tables. So, let's see. I had something for this too. Yeah. Okay. This is a little bit ghetto. Alright. Alright, I don't know if this works outside of Postgres either. I don't think it does. You have to do it with raw SQL too. I do this because truncating is faster than rerunning migrations over and over. Because the alternative is to drop the database and then rerun all the migrations, but that's a lot slower. And then churn map single tables, reload. Run devdb, get tables. What? Oh, I'm wrong module. Whoops. Model fixtures. Oh, I don't have Shakespeare in scope. Why is it mad? Rust equals applied to too few. Yeah, there's no parameters. There we go. I have to pass an empty list of parameters. Alright, there we go. That looks a lot like my table names. What do you think? Looks right to me. Huh? We have a question in the chat. Alright. Alright, so Malachi asked, how do you do migrations once the database is in production? That's a great question. So essentially, what I usually do, let me see if I can find an example here. So I'll usually make a little migration project, something where usually I have my stuff in a monorepo, and then I'll have migrations under a directory. So there is a utility called Standalone migrations. It's this little thing here. So this is the utility. It's essentially the migrations utility from Rails, but extracted as something that you can just kind of run in any context. You don't need a Rails app. And then what I do is I have a directory called SQL or something that'll have like SQL DB, and then you'll start having names of migrations with timestamps and things like that. And you'll have file names like that has a timestamp and then some description of the schema, and then a Ruby file. And then the Ruby file will have stuff like that, and then they'll have your actual create table statements. And then the key part here is all of this is just from running dump migrations. So you see this dump migration helper here. I'll just run dev db dump migration. Now there's no migrations to be done right now, so let me change the model. This isn't really. I'll just add a fake field, city to text. So it's gonna break a type. Yeah, I need to change something that isn't gonna break any code. I can't actually change my database models without like creating a type error that I need to fix. I'm not really doing the product order right now, so I'm just gonna add a field called blah to that because that's not gonna do anything. Okay, so if I run dump migration, it's going to give me the migration that I need to run. So then I just copy and paste that into the Ruby file under the up method that runs the migration, and then I just have the credentials available to run under some kind of context, usually as a file I can source into my environment. And then the utility just gets the production database environment from my shell, and it just runs against the production database. That's the most straightforward, kind of quick and dirty way to do it. I will usually eventually, I'll have that same utility and the same credentials embedded as secrets in the continuous integration server. And then every successful merge to master gets deployed into production, and part of that deployment is migrating the database. So it just starts running automatically after a while. Hopefully that, here's a question. Malachi is wondering if there's something specific to the Haskell ecosystem. Not for actually running the migrations. I mean, I'm generating the migrations using persistent. I'm just not using any Haskell code to actually run them. I mean, you could write like a shell script using pSQL to do this. It's nothing all that intelligent. It's just because it's purely linear. It's not like it's not doing anything super intelligent there. It just runs the migrations, excuse me, in a linear order. And all it does is record if the migration's been run or not. It records the timestamp the migration's been run up to, I should say. So that's how I usually do that in production. That's not how I do it at my current job because we have actual ops people at my current job, so that's not really my problem anymore, where it used to be. Alright, excuse me. So getting back to alright, so now we need truncation. I don't know why it's just DB. Alright. DB type, SQL persist T, all that stuff, it's just a reader T of SQL backend, so I can just ask for the SQL backend from the reader environment. To be able to know how to escape a name properly, you have to feed the conEscape name function. You have to give it the SQL backend for it to know how to escape it, because it's different for different databases, and the SQL backend is what actually furnishes that functionality. It's actually an accessor on SQL backend. Okay, and then okay, if that happens, which it really shouldn't, we just can't proceed. I could actually change that from an error bottom into an exception, but I don't care that much. So obviously this is getting into the unsafe parts of the database functionality. That's okay. Yeah, I don't need that. And I don't need that. DB handles it for me. Alright, that loaded. So let me watch this happen in real time. Alright, use connect, no, use tdev, no, how do I never remember this. PSQL use database. Oh yeah. Okay. There. Alright, so those are all our tables. Select star from users. That's my user. Run dev db, truncate all tables, and all the data disappeared. Run dev db, insert fixtures, data reappears. It's like magic. Alright. And let me see here. Alright, so our basic kind of stand-up, tear-down process is in place for the database. The data and all that. So now, let me see here. I guess I just need example data for product and digital product. So I'm gonna bail out of this. I'm gonna make dir, and then I need to know what to call the directory for the files. Alexi, help me name things. It's a very difficult part of computer science. I need to name the directory that contains the like the PDF files for the ebooks and stuff. What do you? I mean, it's not assets, because the problem with assets is it implies stuff like CSS or JS or something like that, right? And that's not what this is. It's just like the book, you know. What do you think? I thought about ebooks or PDFs, but I might start uploading videos or something, so that seems less appropriate in that case. Content seems good. We'll go with content. Actually, I could have just called this like content. It's fine. I'll call it content. Chat's suggesting shelf, media, documents. Media is actually better than content. Sorry to pick a winner, but I think media's fits well. Okay, so media, and then let me see here. I'm not certain how to do directories, because I could do them by product, you know, so you could have like Haskell programming and then a list of files, or I could do them by type, so ebook. I'm going to do it by product for now. Alright. So what I need to do now is I need to actually compile a copy of the book. Make certain I've got the latest version. I do. Make, release, build. This is going to take a while, fair warning. I think I've rendered it before, so it actually won't be that bad, but it's gonna burn for a little bit. So everybody's getting to see what it looks like to compile the book for the first time. While that runs, I'm going to run Nautilus on the directory that lives in, and too many open files. Nuts. Yeah, it's just hard limit. Alright. Ah, you ass. Oh no. Hopefully that's enough. Okay. Goddamn file limit. Alright. That's how big this build is. It ends up creating too many open file descriptors, and then the build fails when it tries to request one more than it's allowed to, because it basically just kills the thing. It's a good thing I have a fast computer. This takes a long time on a laptop. Okay, so I think we're on a different version of the book now. No, we're still on release screen, sorry. So it has to build, there's 2 or 3 formats of the book that I'm rendering here. Let me double check. So Haskell book, makefile. Yeah, there's 3 builds. So there's the product builds, which are these are the versions of the book you actually buy. And then the sample build is the sample on haskellbook.com. That's hold on. It's right here. It's this sample. So basically what I did when I structured the build of the book is I made these top-level files that describe the content of the book. So chapters is just the top-level chapter listing. And let me find the sample. So sample. Yeah, so the sample basically has a different top level that pulls in different content. Make sample. Yeah, it's sample.tech. So it's this top level file. So it pulls in the screen header, the title, the cover page, and then it pulls in the chapters, which it's basically just commenting out the other chapters that aren't included in the sample. Let me see here. We're on release e-reader now, so we have the screen version done now. So this is the freshly rendered version of the book. And so the reason we build it 3 times is LaTeX doesn't. The way LaTeX works is it's kind of an incremental thing where so we have an index for the book, right? The first version of the build, if it's a fresh build, won't actually include the index. It'll do some work on rendering the rest of the book, and it may actually render the rest of the book, but the index won't get rendered. You have to rerun it to do the next pass through the book that has the index metadata and then renders the index at the end of the book. And the content of the book will actually change every time you run the build. So you have to actually run the build 2 or 3 times is considered the minimum before the build stabilizes. I found 3 has never been anything but stable. It's been fine. Like if I run it 3 times, it's good. But it is like a pretty serious problem for reproducibility because you basically don't have like a stable hash of the content for a given like tech. Like you can't match, you know, a SHA-1 of tech to a SHA-1 of a PDF. There is no unique matching there. There's too many non-deterministic build artifacts and other environmental stuff that can change the artifact that gets produced. So one of my many objections to LaTeX, even though it's the best thing available, is that it's just not really like archival grade document description, just because of the way the build system works. But all the alternatives I've looked at, like Padaline, have been pretty terrible and limited, so I haven't been able to really improve on that. Padaline, for example, is using like imperative OCaml scripting code to describe the document, which is frankly worse. Alright, so it's building the rest of the content. I don't really care about that right now, so I'm just going to shove it off to the side. And we're in Lorepod Boutique. Got a question about still updating the book. Yes. So Julie's, as far as I know, she's wrapped up the index. Both of us have been editing the book, mostly Julie. And we're probably going to do a release candidate soon of what's going to eventually be the final version of the book. What we're blocking on right now is the application I'm working on right now. Like, Boutique is to sell the book. But it needs to be able to sell not the ebook, although that's where I'm starting out with in terms of getting functionality working. It's the physical version of the book. That's the issue. So in order to sell that, I need some kind of e-commerce solution that can sell the physical version of the book and then use the address to call the shipping API. Alexi, the person that I'm talking to in Hangouts while we're on this stream, he's actually the one that implemented the shipping API. It's on my account, and I really need to move it over because he did all the work. But Ballast is a Shipwire API client in Haskell, and that's how I'll fire off the shipments. And we got a question about Escalito. Okay. So that's still going, but I don't really care. So I'm gonna copy Haskell book, release, screen, PDF, media, Haskell book, screen, PDF.
There's another question in the chat about
And we got a question about, will I get notified through Gumroad for the update? Yes, yes. Every time we update the PDF in Gumroad, it gives us the option of sending out a notification to all previous purchasers of the book, and we always do that. Or rather, I do. I usually cut the releases. Yeah, it'll send out an email notification. You should. If you want a backup solution to the email notifications that Gumroad sends out in case it gets lost or something, you can always just log into your library and check the version of the file that's on the Gumroad purchase, because we have the version file name. Let me see if I can log into Gumroad and show you what I'm talking about. So, actually, no, never mind. Let me think here. Yeah, so there's, we'll definitely let people know. The update isn't going to be that exciting, though. We're not adding any new content. We're just getting the edit and the index up to snuff so that we're comfortable doing a print run of it. The book was edited as we went, and some editing went into the previous version anyway. So what you have is pretty close to complete. We're not going to revise the book at this point. It's just final editing. Okay, so now we have media, Haskell book screen. Okay, so now we are going to let me see here. That was weird. Media, Haskell book, Nautilus. Oh, I typed the name wrong. Okay. Alright, so that works. So I'm going to go back to Fixtures, and now we have a product and what else do we have? Go back to model real quick. So this constitutes a product and a digital product, and what else? This is live data, so that doesn't count, and that's going to happen if we do an order, so that doesn't count. So that suffices. Whoops. Unzip. Sequence A product, and make digital product, and I need to make those helpers. So make digital product. Am I really going to make a product independent of a digital product right now? I'll make the helper for this one first. Just keep it simple. Entity product. And source model fixtures. Info. Whoop. I made it mad. There we go. Alright, info product. So to define a product, I need a title and a price. So title is going to be text, and price is fixed E2. Title, price. And I can actually just define this as insert. I don't have fixed in scope though. I can do that. Helps if I do that, huh? There we go. Why is it mad? Oh. Product. Too many arguments. Alright, fine, I'll stop being clever. Couldn't match key product with, oh, yeah, insert. Whoops. Entity. There we go. Alright. So, oh, I think I needed to double compose product, and that's why it errored out, because it's got 2 arguments, not 1. Whatever, it's not really worth making that point free. Alright, so now we need to make a digital product and that's going to be title, file name, key product, entity, digital product, DB, title, file name, product key, insert entity, the reason I make these little helpers is because sometimes there's more complicated business logic required in order to create something, and you know, just having a helper ready to go, I find sometimes makes it easier to extend behavior. Your mileage may vary. Let me see here. So what we want to do is make a helper that links one to the other. So make account took all the data. Okay. Make ebook and text. Whoops, not trying to make an arrow. 62 text DB entity product, entity digital product. And I'll have to reconcile how to associate multiple media with a single product. One way to do that would be to just take these 2 text things and turn them into list text text tuple to text, and that would fix it. Should I go ahead and do that? Do I care? Yeah, sure. Alright. Digital media, title, price. And then we're going to make product, title, price, product, at product, entity, product key underscore, and then we've got a list of digital media. So list of entity of digital product. We're going to undefine that and add a helper to model. Add. Update user address. add media for product, text, key product. That goes first so that we can partially apply it out. And that returns DB entity digital product. Product key, title, file name, and these aren't unique, so there's not an upsert here. We're just adding them. So insert entity, digital product, title, file name, product key, and reload. Cool. So now what we're going to do is for digital media, media title, file name. We want to add media for product, media title, file name, product key, and digital products. Bind that out. Do a little bit of indent management here. There we go. Return product, digital products, and did I get it right the first time? Let's double check that I actually loaded fixtures. Yeah, good to go. Alright. So that's the type of 4. It's just duplicative and traversable. It's just like a flipped around traverse. Traverse A, I should. Oh, it's traverse A now? Yeah, it is. Alright. Duh. Math M's the monetic one. Okay, so now what we can do is, let me see here. List of entity product. We usually keep these separate in fixtures. We don't really do association lists with them. So I'm going to need to split them out. So we've got make ebook, Haskell, programming from first principles, and it's $59.99. That's US dollars, but you know. Digital media. And the file name is Haskellbook screen PDF, I think. Remembering that right? Yeah, there we go. Let me alright, so I have a little trick for getting the types of things here. So one thing I'm doing is I'm just saying undefined for the rest of the body of make products, just because I don't really care about implementing the rest of it right now. I just want to see what the type of ebooks is. And then when I reload, I'm asserting A for this, but that can't be right, you know? So yeah, it's list of DB of entity products. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sequence A to flip around the DB in list, and that did. DB list entity product, list entity digital product. And then now what I need to do is I need to kind of convolve them and split them apart. So now I need something that will take a list of A, a list of B, and return a list of a tuple of a list of A and a list of B. I'm sure there's like a one-off for this somewhere already, but I don't really care. Is this worth throwing at the bot and see if we can come up with it? Somebody made a bot that was even better than Jim. That could just give you an expression that does what you want. I'll try it in Google real quick. See what Google says. Concat unzip. Close. I could fmap return over it and then use concat unzip. How's it implemented? They have a bunch of stuff for that in here. Yeah, it's just lifting concat. Alright. So that's fair enough. It's a good enough start. So return access, and we need to map that over first. First return, and to make this a little bit easier, we'll just assert that this is type list of A, list of B, x equals in undefined, because again we're not trying to write the rest of it right now. Reload. Oh, I don't actually want to throw an error on that one. Okay, it's wrong. So why is it wrong? It's wrong because the type variables aren't scoped. They should be now. And it worked. Alright. Using scope type variables so that this A here equals that A there. It's kind of hard to write polymorphic type signatures otherwise. You kind of can't, really. Alright, so let me see here. So now what I want to do is, can I what happens if I just traverse this instead of, what type do I get? I get a tuple of some monad A with B. That's interesting. So second join, and we're going to assert tuple list of A, list of B, and it worked. We're done. Alright, so the whole thing is now just that. I don't really need any of that stuff now. Done. Cool. So this whole like breaking apart with let, scope type variables, and using undefined to ignore the bits I don't want to work on is a huge part of how I'm able to incrementally work my way through what I'm trying to do in Haskell. Without it, I would be lost. I wouldn't be able to get anything done. It would be terrible. There we go. Alrighty then. So now what we can do is run break apart tuples on that, and then we're going to go ahead and I don't actually need the scope type variables anymore, so I'll get rid of those. Oops. Assert that it's type T and let it disagree with me. No, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So I have to lift break apart tuples over the result. There's not a great reason to, but okay, so now it's db tuple list of entity product, list of entity digital product. So yeah, alright, that's what I want. So we're just gonna bind that out, and we're going to return break apart tuples ebooks, and let's see how that shakes out. TextView said, isn't sequence A into traverse flipping around what you want unnecessarily? No, I don't think so. The traverse here in break apart tuples is traversing different structure. The sequence A here is not flipping list and tuple structure. It's flipping the DB type with the list. It's sequence A here is taking list of DB this type, and it's turning it into DB list of that type, which is what I want. I want one database action, not a list of database actions. And actually, if I'm going to fmap break apart tuples, I could actually just traverse. Hold on. Let me try this. Traverse break apart tuples, and then we don't need that anymore. Nope. Do I need to lift it? No. Alright, it's mad. Not worth it. I could figure it out, but it's just not worth it. I'm not here to show off type Tetris. Alright, you can get type Tetris from anybody. Alright. This could use a little bit of cleanup. Some of this is because I have a huge font, but some of it's also just this needing a little bit of cleanup. There we go. That's definitely more readable now. There we go. Reload. Alright, so now we have make products, and now we need to make fixtures types for the two different product types. All products, product, digital product, digital product, digital product fixtures, digital product F, product, product, product F, product fixtures, digital product F, digital product fixtures, and then make products. I'm also going to need to figure out product content at some point. I don't really have a good answer for that right now, but I'll figure it out. I don't really want to put the content in the database. That's my main problem at the moment. Okay, when I say product content, I mean the content that's actually like on the page. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we have these two product pages down here, and if I open up this product page, this is just a static template that lives in the code. I just don't want to I don't want that to live in the database. I'd rather it just be part of the Git source code. Yeah, we had a question from Crits Creek. Do you use unbox strict fields? Sometimes I don't usually have primitive types. I mean, like Fixtures, I could represent that with an N64, and then if it was strict, it could be unboxed. I generally don't. I mean, we're talking about allocating one pointer per field, basically, versus having it inline in a struct. It's just not going to matter for a web application. I don't think I've ever even worked on an application that would care about unboxing primitive types. No, I have. I've worked on some analytics stuff for an ad tech company, but that sort of thing didn't really make a big difference for us. I don't know. Because we were processing events. We weren't like setting up big matrices of numerical data. So there was some math necessary, but it didn't really matter. It's a good question, though. All right. Alright, reload. Constructor digital product fixtures does not have the required strict field. All digital product F. Yes. I didn't make it plural. That's why I make them strict. So, to answer a question nobody asked, I make my field strict basically out of habit for a couple reasons. The most important one is it means that if I forget to assign a field instead of getting a bottom, I get an error. And it just tells me, like, hey, you need to fix this. Because I don't want it to tell me something compiles if I have a bottom floating around somewhere. The other reason is just superstition, basically. It hypothetically prevents some cases where I could get a space leak. Hasn't really happened, but I do it anyway, just in case. Not a whole lot of thought went into it beyond that. Okay, so we now have products, so I'm going to make a little helper. Reset tables, db unit, reset database. We'll say database.
Before you start, there's another question.
We've got a question from Texu. What are you doing with the let bindings to wildcards and insert fixtures? So that's a great question, because this is actually a really awesome feature. So most people think of record wildcards as being about code like, let me bring up a model here. So most people think wildcards are only good for essentially bringing all the fields of a record type into scope. So we have address here, so now we have like a, as a result of doing this record wildcard right here, that's what the little curly Q ... means. It means that these fields are in scope, not as record accessors, but as the actual values themselves, so that I don't have to type address, address 1, and then apply it to address over and over. And they're just available now. But there's actually another use for record wildcards. They can actually be used to construct values. What I'm doing with this record wildcard with user fixtures is I'm capturing all users F and constructing it with that. So if you look at all users user fixtures, you can see the record accessor is all users F. So as long as the name matches, it actually just pulls the data in and constructs a valid value. And I'm doing the same thing with fixtures here, where I have user F, password F, address F, product F, digital product F, and then if you look at the fixtures type, it's the same deal. It's just pulling all the data in. That's another reason I use the strict fields on the records, because record wildcards could potentially make it easier that you forget something. That safety doesn't just help with the record wildcards, though. It helps anytime using like constructor syntax. to construct something, so that would be like that. But I don't, if I'm just gonna have, you know, stuff repeated over and over, I'd rather just use record wildcards. So, alright, back to reset database. So we're going to truncate all tables and insert fixtures, void, reload, run dev db, reset database, and sudo u, oh, must have been the other terminal that was building everything in. Hey, the build succeeded, cool. Alright, Postgres, psql, boutique dev, and select star from products, and there we go. Coolio. Alright. I'm gonna need to be careful about that. What did I do here? SQL type money. Okay. Well, hopefully it's just because of SQL type money and not because I did something weird with the thing. Excuse me, sorry. Price money. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alrighty then. So, now that that's been done and I have an example product, what I could do now is I need to create an order and a product because I don't have the checkout code working yet. So I don't actually have the ability to fake purchase something at the moment. And I don't really want to work on that right now. So it'll be order and product order. So I need to make a fake one of these. Whoops. And I will use that in order to create an order, and a successful order associated with my account for that product will give me the ability to download the book. So we'll add fixtures for that. So we're going to need order and product order. So let me see here. Add purchase for user. Oh, that's interesting. It requires an address. Well, that's gonna have to be maybe now. Alright, maybe address, reload, run dev, db, dump migration, and yeah, it's gonna alter it to say drop not null. Run dev db run migration. Whoops. Run migrations. There we go. Rerun dump migration. It's empty now, so we're good to go. All right. Maybe address, key user, and what? And we need the UTC time. I'll just create it on the fly. And then the other thing we need is a product order. So it's going to be a list of product IDs. And then we're going to return a tuple, a list of order, and a list of entity product order. That's living under DB. User key, maybe address, products, and then what? So I just need to construct the values out of this. I'm only creating one order, so I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. So insert entity, order, user key, T, maybe address, lift IO, get current time. There we go. And then we need to insert product orders. So example PO, product order, and we're going to need product ID, order at entity, order key underscore bind, order key, product ID, quantity 1. I feel pretty comfortable defaulting into that. Alright, so yeah, quantity. What does it mean for ebooks? Man, some products aren't gonna have a concept of a quantity. That basically only applies for physical products, but not for ebooks. What do you think, Alexi? Sorry, what were you suggesting?
So if quantity is only applicable for physical products, should we make it a maybe, or should we make the structure schema in some other way?
That's a good question. So Alexi said, should we make quantity a maybe to handle the fact that only certain kinds of products are going to be on the thing. So we could do that, but that's actually not as safe because we could end up having just quantity on the record, and it could accidentally be associated with a digital product, right? So the right way to do this is to actually factor apart products and digital products so that they're separate things. And basically, what I would do is I would create separate relations for each one. So I'll start with order so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So basically, instead of having product order, which covers digital and physical, I would have two different tables: digital, physical, physical, digital, and then I would just delete quantity from that one. And that's the right way to do it, both from a Haskell perspective for type safety and also from a database normalization point of view. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, cool. So that's the right way to do it. So we'll just go ahead and fix it. And then basically there's just two different tables you have to pull things from for a particular order. There's no real way around that, so I'm just going to delete that. And we'll make a physical product, physical products, price, fixed E2, SQL type equals money, and then it no longer has a product ID. It's just its own thing. Alright, let's reload here, see what we broke. I'm sure we made it mad. Not in scope, constructor, or class product ID. Right. Alright, so now we have to split this apart. So we have to split cart products apart into cart physical products and cart digital products.
So what happens if someone is buying both of these?
It's just going to add 2 products to the cart. Sorry, Alexi asked, what are they going to do if they buy both the physical version and the digital version of a product? I can render it to the user however I want, but from the point of view of the app, it would look like 2 different products in the cart. And then maybe there's like a secret coupon being applied so that you get some kind of bundle price for both of them. There's another way to handle that though. I'm trying to just kind of handle this the clean, neat way. Simple, you might say. But, and then get rid of cart products so it's no longer a thing. So, one way to handle it would be to have a concept of a bundle product, and then bundle product, and then that's not going to have a quantity either, because it might include, digital or physical product. And then you would associate, any number of physical so it would just be bundle, and then it would be price fixed E2 single type equals money, and then I would have to create bundle physical product C equals bundle physical product, and then I would need to do the same for digital, and then that would have a bundle ID, and then it would have a physical product, and that would be physical product ID, and then that actually could have a quantity, although I kind of doubt it's going to be a thing. But if I wanted to, I could throw a quantity on it, and that would be, word or whatever. And then you would have bundle digital products, digital, and then you would also want some kind of unique constraint, because it doesn't really make sense to have multiple of the same digital product ID for a given bundle ID. So you would want a unique constraint. Let me grab an example. Yeah, there we go. So you would want a unique constraint like unique bundle digital product, and then that would be bundle digital product, and then you would do similar here where you have physical product like that, basically. And you would basically just any kind of special case to however it is you want to sell things. It's just going to require mapping it out properly in the database. I don't mind, because it's just a little bit extra work spent thinking about my database model, and then I get a lot of type safety and nice clean schema in the database for my trouble. Does that make sense, Alexi? Cool. But yeah, that's basically how you handle like disjunctions or different kinds of things in a SQL database. You just have to keep teasing out relations into separate tables. Trying to shove incompatible data types into the same table leads to a lot of problems. Like the, you have to like make everything nullable, but then you have all these invalid representations that don't actually mean anything, like having a quantity for a digital product. Like if that's not meant to mean anything, then you need to change and pull apart the tables properly. But I don't want to do bundles or any of that stuff right now, so I'm going to pull that out, and I'll leave it commented there because I may use it later, but it's not something I need right now. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, 165, so Yeah, we're not really doing this anymore, so I don't really need that. Digital product. So yeah, now it's title, price, file name. So I don't really need any of that. And then now we need to fix up the fixtures. Another nice thing about doing your fixtures in Haskell, as opposed to some SQL script, your build fails when you break your fixtures, which in my book is pretty cool. I really don't like getting errors at run or some kind of CI or something like that. I want to know immediately in the REPL what I need to fix. Title, price, file name. We don't need a product key anymore, so we can get rid of that. And we've got price in between title and file name. That does that. Reload. Whoops. And 130. Make ebook. Yeah, this is basically redundant now. We don't need break ebook. We don't need break apart tuples anymore. We need nope, there is something we need to do here. Can you guess what it is, Lexi? What I forgot to do? File names on digital product, right? I have to actually split out digital media so I can have multiple files for each one. Yeah. So I need to do that. So digital media. So I'm still going to need some of that code. Okay, so media is going to have a title and a file name and a digital product. It's just going to be product. It's always going to be digital. And then digital product ID. And I could set some kind of uniqueness thing on this. I'm trying to think about what exactly should be unique though. I could make title and file names separately unique. Excuse me, sorry. I mean, file name for a particular combination of file name and product, that should probably be unique, right? Because there's no reason to have multiple digital media listed, which are the same file name for the same product. It is possible you could associate the same file name with multiple products, right? Because different, purchases could include different books, right? But I think we want unique product media, product file name, and then I don't really care that much about title. It's just not relevant, so that should work. Deriving show. Okay. So I do need to do and that gets a product ID, so entity digital media. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, and then digital product. And we're not doing file name anymore. So remove that. Insert ND, digital media, and this now needs to be a tuple of text like we had in the other one, so we're probably going to end up reviving that thing. Let me think about this. Yeah, I'm just going to end up kind of reconstituting it. So I'm going to reduce it down to that, kill that, kill that, it's just gonna stay that. And then we're gonna revive this guy. Okay, so make digital product, digital product key. Alright, then for digital media, where's digital media coming from? That's it. Cool. So now we need add media for digital product key, media title. So there you go. We actually did end up needing all that. So lesson learned, huh? Add media for product key, digital product key, and instead of digital product, it's digital media, title, file name, digital product key, and alright. So now this is digital product, and then list of entity, digital media, and entity, digital media, and then we're going to pass it text, price, and media. So now what we want to do is let tuple digital products digital media equals break apart tuples ebooks, and then we can return tuple empty list because I'm not creating any physical products right now. Digital products, digital media, and reload that. Okay, now it's mad about 176. Add media for digital product. Yeah, it's digital media now. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we need to go back to fixtures and fix this stuff. So, digital string products media, place string product media, there we go. Digital products, digital media, digital product, digital media, reload. And do block must be an expression. Oh yeah, sure. I haven't really finished this, so I'm fine. Okay, 111 is key digital product, and let me see here. So a particular purchase might have, let me take a look at the model real quick. So it's just physical products and digital products. So list of key, digital product, list of key, physical product, And physical product order, list of any digital product order, excuse me. And let me see here. Dun, 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 dun. Reload. Retain one more argument to entity. Yeah, fair enough. Reload. Digital media fixtures doesn't have the required strict fields. Digital media F. So that needs to be all digital products, and that needs to be all digital media. Reload. I made it mad. Make products, all digital products, all digital media. It returns 3 now. Okay. All physical products. Okay. And now it's upset about 158. What am I doing wrong? Maybe it doesn't like the multi-line? It doesn't. Fair enough. Product order is not in scope. Yeah, that's true. Alright. Digital products, physical products, and let me see here. Current time, order key, physical, product order. It's going to be PPO, physical product ID, and let's double check the model. Order product quantity, physical product ID, example DPO, digital product ID. Get rid of the quantity because digital media don't have, digital products don't have a quantity. Digital, reload. Got a question in the chat. SmokeMax is asking, are you using Intero or something else? No, it hasn't. This hasn't been asked yet. I am not using Intero or anything. I'm using Emacs, which is very basic syntax highlighting for Haskell, and then on the right hand side are a couple terminals, and this terminal right here is really my little helper. This is how I'm getting everything done. And I fire up this REPL with make GHCI, which is just stack GHCI boutique : lib, and that's it. That's all I've got. Alrighty then. 85. What is it mad about? It's mad about this. This is media. This is digital product. This is digital media. Yeah, no problem, SmokeMax. Happy to explain. Defined but not used. All physical products. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not really doing anything with that. Alright, undefined here, so I need to finish this one. Alright, so we've got a function for physical products, a function for digital products. We've got an order and an order key, so now I need to construct from traverse example pp dpo, and I should just make this insert entity. There's no real point to deferring that. Inserted DPO undefined, let x equals inserted DPO because I want to see what the type of that is. Reload. List of entity digital product order. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, inserted PPO, example PPO, physical products, even though I'm not actually going to do anything with this. And then list of entity order. Nope, that's going to be singular, not plural. And we're going to return order inserted DPO, inserted PPO, and reload, and that compiles. Alright, it's a little upset that I'm shadowing here, so I'll just call this inserted media, because that's what it is. And it's complaining that I'm not using Postgres. Yeah, sure. Alright, there we go. Run dev db, reset database. Whoops. Column price of relation digital price. Oh yeah, I gotta re-migrate this bad boy. Dump migration. This is gonna be a mess. I can already tell. Yeah, a little bit of a mess. Alright, we'll just try it, see if it works. No, that's what I kind of suspected. This is like a dramatic change. There's unsafe actions here that it's complaining about because you have to do things that could lose data. Persistent won't automatically run migrations that could lose data. So, alright, that's one unsafe action. Is there anything else? There's got to be something else. Maybe not. Nope. Column price contains null values. I'm going to truncate all tables and rerun the migrations, and now it's worked. Alright. So select star from digital products. Yeah, because we don't actually have the fixtures for them in place yet. We just have a helper that could do it. Or do we? Hold on. Where's make products? Oh no, I need to rerun the fixtures. Dirt. There we go. Hey! There we go. And then digital media. Cool. Yeah. Persistent makes me very happy, but that's also because I'm comfortable with it. There is a little bit of run-up to learning patterns like this fixture stuff and the migrations and all that stuff, but once you have them in place, it's really nice. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a default purchase for the user so that I already own something. So what I'm going to do now is create a fixture for order, digital physical, digital product order, and physical product order. So replace string digital product with order. Replace string digital product with digital product order. I think I got that right. Let's double check. Digital product order, yeah. And I'm just gonna put this above that. It's a silly bit of finickiness, but whatever. Alright. And then place string, digital product, physical product order. And alright, reload. Digital order F, order fixtures, digital product order F, digital product order fixtures, physical product order F, physical product order fixtures, and now I need to stand those up. So that's going to be add purchase for user, and we're going to add it for a particular user. So what I want to do here is head all users F, entity key, and what's the rest of the type? Maybe address, nothing. And I want to, yeah, I'm gonna need to start grabbing stuff. So let's see, head. Yeah, by the way, don't use head outside of fixtures or something that, you know, just kind of runs once outside of production. Don't do that otherwise. Why is it? Yeah, so I see mentioned for some reason he thought that they removed head from Classy Prelude. Yeah, I thought so too. I don't know why it's in scope. It doesn't matter. I need to use it anyway, but, you know. I don't know why it's in scope. It could just be my library version. Let me look at my, no, not package.json. That's the front-end guys thing. I don't do any of the front-end stuff on this app right now. I do templates, and I kind of pulled together the Stripe stuff, but the actual CSS and the whole front-end assets build I didn't do. So we're on Resolver LTS 16. Nothing special there. Yeah, I don't know. LTS 16 is whatever I have. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a good question. Alright, Chris user at entity Chris key, and we want products, Haskell book at entity Haskell book key equals head. No, it's fine. Haskell book's fine. Nah, I'll add DP there. Head, all digital products, and add purchase for user. So that's going to be nothing. Haskell book DB key, empty list of physical products, and then in exchange we get what? What do we get? We get a tuple with an order. We get digital product order, physical product order. I don't care about, sorry, excuse me, I don't care about the physical product orders. And let all orders F. All digital product orders F. There we go. Digital product order F equals digital product order fixtures. Alright. Technically I need to have physical product order F, but I have a way of dealing with this. And that way of dealing with this is let all physical product orders F equals empty list. And then all orders F equals list with just order inside of it, and reload. Alright, fixtures don't require all orders F. Order F equals order fixtures. Reload. Non-null mono. Right, because it's, oh my god, it's using the excuse me. It's using the head from monotraversable, which I don't really find super useful. It's safer, but I also find it obnoxious, so I'm just gonna, again, don't do this outside of fixtures and stuff. It's bad. This is only okay because I'm not doing it in production. Okay. Where's I'm using it there. I'm using it there. I'm using it there. Reload. Hey. Dunzo. And I want to replace this with Chris key. I'm not really using the user at the moment. I'm not really using Haskell book DP, just the keys. Reload. There we go. Yeah. Smoke Max mentioned didn't have a good time with database related stuff at his last job, which used Java. Yeah. I've only done Java in the context of Hadoop, pretty much. I haven't really used any of the ORMs or stuff from that neck of the woods. Okay, so we're gonna run dev db reset database now. Done. Nice and fast. Select star from orders, and I now have an order. Select star from digital product orders. Yep. There we go. There is one nice thing I could do here. It's not strictly necessary, but right now, in order to figure out what a user owns, I have to jump from user to orders to digital product orders. I could denormalize that and put a user ID column on digital product orders. I'm not going to for the moment, but it is something I could do. How are the dogs doing? They're being doggy. Alright, they're good. Let me see here. Hey, bud. Good doggy. Here. Dog. Good dog. Alright. This is the cuddliest German Shepherd I've ever known. I like dogs to begin with, but yeah, Jack is special. Alright, so what I need to do now is create a database handler. Well, I need to create a query that checks if I own something. That's really like the first thing. So let me see here. The easiest way to identify this is to put the ID of the digital media in the route. So if I put the ID in the route, I can use that for downloading the file. Let me have a look at my routes here. I need to think about this because I don't really want the products to be enumerable, but I don't care that much either. Let me think about this. Product int64 download product R get. Am I alright with that? How does pragprog work? What do their download links look like? Don't I have an account in this place? Let's find out. I do. I have one out-of-date ebook. Okay. Alright. What do they do here? Downloads. And then some mysterious number. And if I go there, they start generating my ebooks, I guess. I'm guessing they're watermarking it. I think so. You ever download a book from pragprog before, Lexi? Oh, right. Yeah, Alexi mentioned pragprog has like a Dropbox sync thing that they can do, which is pretty clever, actually. I don't know how much value people get out of that, but it is cool. All right, so then if I download the PDF, hold on, I want that URL. So it's download, and then what I think is, yeah, it's the same number as there. So that's probably a product ID. And then this is some, I don't know exactly what that is. I'm guessing it's the build of the PDF. I could be wrong about that. And then this is the file name. But that's not what they put in the content disposition. The content disposition has a custom file name different from the actual file name on their server. That's interesting. Oh, and it's actually coming from, hold on. Yeah, so that's the real URL. So it's Amazon S3, IFR gerbils, and then signature expires key ID, and then that's probably an epic timestamp. I don't know. Get current time. POSIX. Hold on. Import data time clock POSIX. UTC time to POSIX seconds. Get current time. Yeah, so it expires in 7,133 seconds, which is seconds in minutes. That's 2 hours. Okay. So they have a 2-hour timeout on this URL. Oh, it says 7133 right there. Huh. Curious. Okay. Let me see here. Well, I'm not going to be doing any of that right now. Gumroad currently watermarks the PDFs for us, but I don't. You have to be careful with Gumroad, because if you actually download the PDF using Gumroad's like send to Kindle functionality, they actually mangle the PDF and it breaks. You always want to download the raw file from them, because we've already made an e-reader format. Like if they try to reformat either version of the book into being Kindle friendly, it just ruins it. I don't know why they, well, I know why they do that, but it's a bad idea, and they shouldn't do that, because we get a lot of support tickets about that. Alright, so download product R. So what this means now is if I reload handler or source application, it'll throw a type error because I haven't implemented get download product R. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Where should this live? Ooh, where should this live? Store? Yeah, sure. Alright, so get download product R, and we're just gonna put it above all that stuff. Hey, no, it's handler text. It's not actually gonna be text, but welcome back, Texu. Alright, so now we have digital media key do to SQL key DMK digital media key, and churn undefined or just empty. And then what we want to do now is bebop over to this guy and reuse how he did that. Add header, content disposition, send response bytes. That seems fine. To content bytes. So, yeah, that's fine. So what I need to do now is grab the product. I'm just gonna make this unsecured for now, just so I can test the file download functionality. So get digital media key, run DB, and then that's gonna be maybe digital. We actually want digital media, and then we want run DB or 404. Reload. Text.encode UTF-8. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. And then text.concat. What on earth? Oh, I don't think that's necessary either. Variable non-scope bytes. You are correct. It is not in scope. Content type. I guess I ought to find out what content type looks like. What's type of send response? Typed content. monad handler to content. Okay. Gonna make this typed content. And I have no idea what these are gonna be for the moment. Go. File info to text. Variable non scope, run_db or 404. Alright, so first thing we need to do is implement run_db or 404. So we'll go ahead and where does run_db live? Should be part of the no, not test import. Foundation. So run_db or 404. SQL persistent, because I don't really feel like caring about where the thing lives. Handler A. Nothing equals not found. Just A equals. Whoops. It's actually DBA. Hold on. Whoops. Somebody asked what program this was. RG is ripgrep. It is. Hold on. Ripgrep. It's this thing. It's really fast. It's a nice grep utility. It's super nice. I will toss it in chat. Okay, DBA, run_db, DBA. Maybe val. Case, maybe val. Whoops. Nothing. Not found. Just A. Return A. Reload, do, and couldn't match type, error, no logging T, resource. Wow. Oh. What did I do to deserve this? DB? Oh, alright. Well, that worked. 14. So it's complaining about add header. It is very upset about something. File info to text with file info. Oh, it's an accessor. Digital media file name, I think. Info, digital media. Yeah. Alright. Ambiguous type variable A. Because of content type. It doesn't know which type the content it is. How about content type byte string? No instance for UTF-8 byte string. Oh. Ambiguous type variable to content value byte string. Bytes. Byte string. Oh, that loaded. Alright. Not that any of this works right now, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so once I have a digital media, what I can do next is, let me see here, open with source, handler, store, with open, I like Recipe Playroot had file stuff. Well, that's not going to be helpful. Qualified by string dot sb b dot open. Oh, for the love of God, where is it? Open file? No? File name, IO, byte string. So we'll look at system.io here. Open file, file path, IO mode, handle. Well, I know data.text.io has it. Read file. B.read file. Yeah, there we go. Alright, import qualified data string sb, and that's going to be b.read file, unpack, digital media file name, file bytes. Just move that over there, and I still don't know what content type's supposed to be. I'm gonna say PDF. I think it's meant to be like PDF MIME type. Okay, application PDF. Means I may need to add the MIME type to the model, but I don't have to do that right now. IO handler, yeah, it helps if you lift IO, huh? Fair enough, fair enough. Alright. Don't need that. Alright. Load up devel main. And let's see here. Update. Localhost. Product 1 download. Open binary file does not exist. Haskell book. Yeah. Whoops. I gotta prefix it. So it's media. Media slash plus plus. There we go. Update. Reload. Look at that. It downloaded a file. Whoops. I went to the wrong window here. There we go. See? It downloaded. Oh, look at that. It prefixed Haskell dash on the front there. I wonder what's going on there. Yeah, it works fine. Where'd the Haskell dash come from? pSQL. Select star from digital media. Haskell slash Haskell. Oh, I see. It rewrote the slash into the dash, the hyphen. Okay. Well, if it's going to do that, I think what I can do is rename the file to screen, and then it'll just automatically do the right thing. So I can take this, and that removes some redundancy from the name, which is really handy. And then what I can do is bebop over and change the model. That's going to be in Fixtures. There we go. Load source model Fixtures. Run dev-db, reset database. Cool. Am I? Yeah, okay, so that's fine. App devel main update, and we're gonna try downloading this again. Looks like it worked, and haskellbush-screen.pdf. That's much better. Alright. Cool. So stuff is working now. We now have ebooks downloading. So let's see if we can check an item off of here. So enable ebook PDF embedding with products and downloadability. I don't actually have user ownership or anything, so I should go ahead and implement that. And dun 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 dun. Interesting. All right. So now what I need to do is actually add some security to this endpoint, because right now it doesn't check to see if somebody actually owns something. So now I need to write an Escalito query. User owns media, key, digital media, key user, and DB maybe digital media, DMK, user key. Alright, now we have the peculiar joy of writing an Escalito query. Import database.escalito. And what we're going to do now is user digital media digital product orders select from Christ. Let's think here. Users inner join on orders inner join digital product orders, and pretty soon we're going to get to the mistake a lot of people new to using Escalito make, and I will show you what I'm talking about in just a moment after I make this a little more readable. Okay, so now we need to do some on clauses. So the mistake a lot of people make is they'll do the on clauses in order of first to last. You actually have to do them last to first, or it throws an exception. I don't like it, but I haven't had time to figure out how to make Escalito less partial in this respect. I'm actually going to do it the wrong way first, just to show it blowing up so you know what I'm talking about. So user, yeah, I don't usually do these plural because that's not actually what's going on. All right, user ID, and that's going to be equals order user, I think. Info order. Whoops. All right, hold on. Source handler store .hs, and yeah, it's gonna complain about that. So I'm gonna need to hide the persistent stuff or just use this qualified. I'll just use it qualified. E dot actually, yeah, no, just E dot all of it. I don't like the overlap in persistence operators, but you know, again, time. Just haven't had time to fix it. All right. All right. Info order user. Yeah. Whoa. Ugh. That's ugly. Let me fix that. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not doing that right. There we go. I'll redump the database and kill it later. Okay. So on e.on order it's going to be order ID equals digital product order, and it's going to be info digital product order. Order. Digital product order. And then we want to constrain this. So e.where underscore where digital product order val whoops e dot, yeah, this is a little ugly like this, dmk digital product order. Ooh, yeah. Let me see here. I need to get from digital product to inner join. I need to join from that to digital product. Join from that to digital media. So that's not going to be a where clause. Instead, it's going to be digital product order product equals digital product ID e.on digital product info digital product ID, it's going to be digital media, and it's going to be digital media product, and then ASRM 27 ASD program in Python 2. Yeah, I used to. A few years back, that's what I did before. So before I did Haskell, I did Clojure and some Python. Before that, I just did Python, and way back I did a little bit of .NET, but that was a long time ago. Long time ago. We're just going to return digital media because that's all I really care about right now. And I need to constrain... No, I'll just return digital media. That's fine. And then list digital media. So I'll rewrite this to user media, and it's just this. Do need to add a constraint for where user ID e dot equals val user key. There we go. Now it's specific to the user. And something failed on line 17. Oh, I'm not indenting enough. There we go. Oh, no, it's just mad. What do I need to do here? I need to parenthesize all of that. E.where, I need to do E.val, data constructor not in scope. Forgot to capitalize that. And could not match type entity, digital media with digital media. Yeah, fair enough, it returns entities. Defined but not used, DMK. It's true. Alright, run dev db to SQL key user 1 user media. Oh, I have to give it the... Yeah, we're not using it, so I can just make it undefined. Missing from clause entry. So this is what I was talking about. You have to reverse the on clause ordering, otherwise you get this SQL error. It's super annoying. Really sorry I haven't fixed this yet. So what I have to do is move that up, move that up, move that up, and now it might work. Yep. See? That's all I had to do. Just reverse the order. Damnedest thing. Alright. So what this now returns is a list of all the digital media my user account owns for that key right there. So now what I can do is I can parameterize the constraint. So sometimes I just want to pull all of the user's products. Sometimes I just want to know if they own a particular bit of digital media, right? So a trick for that with Escalito, one of the things I like about it, is not only do I have the ability to express queries with joins, but I can also, let me see here. Also, I need to do something about the persistent import. I'm gonna fix that real quick because that is abominable. I don't like having e dot in front of everything like that. So it's coming from no foundation probably. Persist, yeah. So no, we're not doing that. To SQL key, yeah, okay. whoops, as p, we'll just import to SQL key, like that, whoops, and sessions now needs same import. Type constructor class connection pool in app type. Connection pool. Oops. Now it's asking for run SQL pool, so we'll go over to foundation and add that. Run SQL pool. And now we can clean up this code. So I'm just going to replace string e/backslash/dot with nothing. Oh, it's literal because it's replace string. Okay. So I can replace string e dot enter. There we go. Now that's a bit more readable. User digital products. Alright, user digital products, db, and we have some kind of constraints here. Throw the constraints there, and this is going to be what type? Going to be, well, we're going to get a user key, and that's going to be key user, and db list of entity digital media for sure. What else do I want? Digital product order or anything like that, or digital product ID or order. I could use the order to report when they bought it. I think I won't fuss with it for now, but I will probably end up adding stuff to that later, so that's fine. Reload. Alright. Equals ambiguous occurrence equals. Alright. What is that? Alright. Oh. So it is coming from persistent still. No foundation, hiding, hiding, control lens ISO. Brutal. Okay, so now this is going to be SQL query A, I guess. User digital products. And we're going to return unit and user key, denotation, discard a result of type A. Defined but not used, DMK. So what I want to do now is I want to scope this to parameterize the constraint. I need to pass this. Digital media, and then digital media where digital media ID equals val DMK, and that will then scope it to just that one digital media product. And now I need to fix the type again because it's going to be SQL Expert any digital media. I thought I had a more generic way to do that. That's fine. SQL Expert entity digital media SQL query. Okay, reload. Key with reader T SQL backend. Reader T SQL backend expert. Reader T SQL backend. What did I do wrong? What I'm going for here is a parameterized constraint. So yeah, expert value bool. So that's going to be unit. Key with reader T SQL backend. Why is it confusing? Probable cause, user digital products supplied too few arguments. Oh, it's just indent. There. Hey, alright. Run dev db to SQL key 1 to SQL key 1. Whoops, gotta do the actual user owns media part. And it worked. Alright, let me see here. So now we have the ability to just query if something is owned. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn into a maybe. So we've got list to maybe. So we're going to fmap list to maybe $, maybe, reload, worked, rerun, and now it's just. Alright, so because this is now maybe, what I can do now is go back to foundation, run db or 401 and not authenticated. I don't think that's the right one. Because it's not that they're not authenticated, it's that they're not authorized for that specific thing. HTTP status is that it? Yeah, okay. 401 unauthorized. Yeah, so I want 401 unauthorized. Unauthorized 401. Authorized info not found. Yesod core handler. Go to Yesod core. Yesod core. Oh, there it is. Yesod core handler, and we're looking for not found in the not authentic. Oh, that is. Oh, it's permission denied if they don't have access to that particular thing. So we need 443. So we want permission denied, and there's text associated with this. So text explain store digital media run db or 403, some explanation of why they don't get to access it, and user owns media dmk digital media key, and then we need user key now. So now we need to pull in handler sessions and require user. That's the one. Alright, so now we need to require user entity user key run db43. You do not own this product, and reload. Could not match type entity digital media with digital media. Alright. Alexi says he has to go soon. Thanks for hanging out with us, Alexi. Yes, I said something was the wrong type somewhere. And I need to import handler.auth to get the require user helper. What did I do wrong? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's entity underscore digital media. There we go. Alright. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to reload app.devel main. Update. Alright. I'm going to, let me see here. Well, now that he's gone, I'll just crank up the music. Let me see here. I'll do for now. So, what's my sign out route? Log out. Okay. Alright, there we go. So, if I try to go to download for the product, it redirects me to log in because I'm not logged in yet. Now I'm logged in. Now I can go to the product and it works. And if I actually, I don't need to do this. I can do it from here. I'm going to drop the row that says I purchased the product so that I can see what it looks like when I'm logged in, but I don't own the product. Delete from digital product order where digital product order digital product order ID goes file to secret key 1 import model. Okay, run dev db. Done. Select star from digital product orders. 0 rows, that's what I'm looking for. So if I go to it again, I get 403, not permitted in the right place. I'll go home. Oh, it didn't even use the little message I used. Am I using the message in what template? Let's have a look. Source, foundation, error handler, not authenticated. Aha! It's right there. Explanation. So I need to actually make use of it in the template. Templates, arrows, 403. You weren't permitted because explanation reload. I'm going to touch source settings so that it reloads the raw template file. Main main.update. Do it again. Boom, there we go. Now we have an error message. Not permitted in the right place. You weren't permitted because you do not own this product. So one thing I don't like about this is I'm limited to a text message here. It would be nice if this was actually a widget. So a widget would just look like this, and then it would actually be a full-blown template widget. What that would let me do is embed links to the product they tried to download, and then they could click on it and add the product to their cart. I can't do that right now because I don't have product pages in place, but still. Okay. But that'll slice for now. Okay. So I added the explanation for that. And now I need to think about a couple things here. So I need to fix the MIME type situation, because right now I'm just defaulting to application PDF, and that's not right. So MIME type is a property of the digital media. Where is digital media? There it is. Okay, content type. Content type. content type. What's the dog doing? Hey. How you doing? I think I'm gonna take a break from streaming here in a minute. I think the dogs might need my attention. Okay. So, content type. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Oh, hi. Yeah, dogs are getting a little hype. Key digital oh yeah, okay, here. Reload. Leave the model alone for a second. I need to take a look at the content type thing. Yeah, it doesn't even exist. Let's go to send response. Source handler, store. The reason I'm using :L here instead of import is because it lets me see the imports from the point of view of code inside the store module, which then lets me see send response. Okay, two-type content. So we're using some two-type content since it's a tuple. Yeah, content type, content. Alright. Byte string. Excuse me. Aha! So that's how I would send a file. Probably more efficiently, too. I should probably do that. I should rewrite it to take advantage of that. To content. Info to content byte string. Okay. Alright. I should change it to use this. So to content file bytes, and then content type itself is just byte string. Right. Okay. So content type byte string, and now we need to change our fixtures. Digital media, location, PDF, byte string, content type, add media for digital products, content type, add media for digital products, and that's in model, add media for digital products, byte string, content type, reload. Pretty much everything reloaded, but I don't think the fixtures are fully fixed yet. So source model fixtures. Oh, they are. That was fast. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so store. And now what I can do is get rid of that and replace it with digital media content type. Okay, so now digital media content type can be per thing. Now I need to deal with the manual loading of the file bytes, so that I can stop doing this. Okay, so it takes a file path and maybe Network WI internal file part. I should probably find out what that is before I start doing stuff. Let's see here. Alright, file part. Information on which part to be sent. Oh, I see. I imagine I can just do nothing and then it won't slice and dice the file. I don't need to worry about that, I don't think. So... Alright, my dogs are getting seriously grumpy, so I'm gonna end streaming here and just leave the file bytes change undone, which is good practice because you want to leave things undone when you're stopping a project. It makes it easier to pick things up the next day. Ebooks, product downloading, and I just need to pick that up and get it done. Oh, quit being grumpy. Silly dog. Alright, so that's all from me today. I'll show you the grumpy dog. Hi. Grump. Grump, grump. Oh, you want attention too? Yeah, alright. So that's all from us for now. I will announce on my Twitter, twitter.com/bitemyapp, if I'm going to stream again. Hope everybody enjoyed this, and I certainly did. And have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody.